confidence. When he's done with his presentation, we'll come back and we'll go into the confidence and courage task for this game. But I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time. I'm going to make sure he pass along to Rodney. He's been working with athletes and really helping them take their confidence to the next level. And as we go into day 2 of the challenge, I'm really excited to hear what he has to share. I'm going to be sitting back taking notes with you guys. So without much further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Rodney. Now, he does have a little interactive activity at some point, so we'll be coming back and forth between him and here in the studio. But guys, grab your sheet of paper out. Give Rodney tons of love in the chat box. And Rodney, take it away. Woo!
All right. So it is a privilege and a pleasure to share with you my story of how I became a Division I athlete and how you can speak life over yourself and speak life over others. In just a few moments, we're going to have an interactive activity showing you a visual representation of what it's like to fill yourself up and to overflow onto others. And I'm going to explain what that means in a minute. So beginning with my story, I am from a state far away from where I live now in Georgia. I'm originally from California. And I grew up between 2 cities, Pasadena, California, and Sacramento, California. And I grew up what most people would consider the poor side of things. So I didn't have a lot of opportunities to get involved in a lot of activities when I was younger. So I found the sport of basketball all on my own. I was always a tall kid. I was born 2 feet tall. When I was born, I was 24 inches long. So I've always been tall. I don't know what it's like to be a short person, right? But I didn't discover the game of basketball until I was in 6th grade. And I went to 3 different schools in 6th grade because we moved around a bit that year. And so when I first started playing basketball, most of the kids during recess played soccer. And I said, what's that hoop thing over there? And I actually took one of those old purple bouncy dodgeball type of balls, and I go over to the hoop by myself. I started practicing and playing by myself. And when I moved to Sacramento, I discovered that other kids played this game called basketball. And I quickly fell in love with the game. And what's great about the game of basketball for me was that it didn't take a lot of money for me to play. All I needed was a ball or a milk cart. All I needed was a hoop or a crate or a trash can, and I'd be imagining myself being Michael Jordan. You guys might know Kobe Bryant and LeBron James. I'd imagine myself as those players shooting shots, counting down, and I could do it all by myself or I could do it with a bunch of people. And so discovering it on my own made it very special to me. And I didn't have a lot of outside opportunities when I was younger because I lived in a very dangerous neighborhood. So when I moved to Sacramento, I got to go outside. I could go walk to the park, and I fell in love. Now, here's some of the challenges. Raise your hand or write in the chat, me too, or say that's me, if someone's ever said something negative about you or to you. Put in there, that's me. Yep. Yeah, I see. Everybody can relate. Everybody can relate. So I'm going to share a story of somebody speaking life into me and boosting my confidence. Once upon a time in high school, there was this outdoor basketball tournament called Hoop It Up. I don't think it exists anymore, but we were playing a rival neighborhood on 3-on-3 basketball. And at this game where we played the rival neighborhood, everybody was there for the other team. And it was me and 2 of my teammates against this whole crowd of people. And when we start playing, we get the best of the other team. We're scoring more points than they are. We're rebounding better than they are. We're putting better moves on them than they are putting on us. And we're getting to the middle of the game, and we're up by enough points that it's close. It's clear that we're probably going to win the game. And people in the crowd start saying all kind of negative things about me because I happen to be the tallest, biggest kid out there. Anybody else a big kid? Right in there, I'm a big kid too if you're a big kid. Or you're different or special. You wear different color hair and stuff like that. So everybody's like, man, he ain't nothing. He ain't good. Saying some curse words that you got to beep out if you're on TV. And they're just talking down about me, bad about me. But all of a sudden, through the whole crowd, talking bad about me, I hear this voice that I know. And someone said, he ain't nothing. And it was my mom. Now, my mom was 6'4". She was a really tall lady. And she was a reformed bully. So when she was younger, she used to make the mistake of fighting a lot. But she was a reformed bully, so she didn't do that no more. But when she spoke, people listened. So when they're talking bad about me, my mom speaks up for me and says, he is all that. He's all that and a bag of chips. Now, that statement is from the 90s, a long time ago. It was something cool to say back in the 90s. He's all that and a bag of chips, which means I'm good. And then some. And so once my mom spoke up and said, he's all that and a bag of chips, everybody was silent. And I got the biggest boost of confidence. I knew my mom had my back. And I didn't know that I needed that boost of confidence until it came. So sometimes when you're low on confidence, you need other people to speak life into you or say things that help boost your confidence. So what I'm going to do now, and I hope in the studio they'll get ready, I'll give them a cue to start when I say start pouring, but not yet. So Be ready to take some notes, and I'm going to go through some things of how you start to speak life over yourself or boost your own confidence by what you say to yourself. First thing you got to do is silence the negative voices of others. So maybe you don't have the best people in your life. Maybe some people have said some negative things about you. And what that causes, you start to believe it. So what you got to do is you got to silence. They start yapping. You got to silence those voices. If they're negative voices, you have to decide not to listen. Not to listen to the negative voices. Now, there's a difference between constructive criticism and some people that just don't like you, don't care about you, and they don't want to see you do your best. So you got to silence those voices. Secondly, you have to silence your negative inner voice. So if you're the one who says to yourself, oh man, that's too difficult. I can't run that far. I can't jump that high. Maybe I'm too small. I'm not good enough. You have to stop saying those things. You have to change your vocabulary. And so in the studio, I need you to start pouring some water into that cup about halfway. Fill that cup up about halfway. All right. So this is what happens when you start to change your vocabulary. You right now are the cup, right? That cup right there is you. When you start to change your vocabulary, you start to fill yourself up with confidence. You start giving yourself the tools to believe that I can. And I'm going to give you 3 sayings. Be ready to write this down or repeat it back to me in the chat as I go. The first thing you have to tell yourself is, I can. I can. When you see something that you like and that inner part of you jumps up, yeah, I really like that. I would love to do that one day. Like maybe playing high school sports or playing college. You have to start telling yourself, I can, which means it is possible. There's kids playing Division I, Division II, and Division III sports that have disabilities, learning disabilities and physical disabilities. They don't look like the typical athlete. They don't speak like the typical athlete, but yet they're still playing. You have to tell yourself and begin with, I can. The second thing you have to tell yourself is, and repeat it after me, I want to see it in the chat, is I will. When you tell yourself I will, you go from just thinking things to putting a plan in motion. So whatever that thing is, whether it's academic or athletic, you have to say I will, and what does it take to be that thing? Whether it's cheerleading, lacrosse, martial arts, football, basketball, soccer, tennis, any of the sports. You have to put a plan. Okay, I need to join this league to play. I need to be at this level to play. I need to be in this condition. I need to speak to this coach. I need to ask my parents, can I play? I need them to sign this permission form. That's the I will portion. That's the putting a plan into motion. I need to get in shape this way. That's the second part. And the third part of it is, and this is the most important part, after you believe you can, after you put in the work and put in the plan, you will then say, and repeat it in the chat, I am. After you've gotten to the place where you put in the work, where you believed in yourself, where you spoke to people who've already done it, you've taken their advice, you come to a place where you say, man, here I am, I'm on the team. I'm playing in that league. And I'm here to tell you, it's an amazing feeling to reach your goals. And all those moments where you're putting in the work of practicing and working out and going through all those negative voices, silencing those voices, and you finally get to that place, I'm here to tell you it feels amazing. And even if somehow, some way, something happens and you don't reach the goal the first time, you've now become a better person. You've now become somebody who has positive words, somebody who has more confidence in every area of your life. People are going to notice, oh, she's different. Like Grace Herrick and Sophia Hildebrand and Madeline Vaughn and Jasmine and Alana. That people are going to see there's something different about her. There's something different about him. And maybe I need to watch this one. They've been putting a lot of work. And even if they're not all the way there yet, I'm willing to work with them and coach them and get them to a place that they're going to be on that team or make that sport this next season. It's worth it. And I'm going to tell you one more story, and I'll get to another part of pouring out. When I started playing basketball in high school officially, my freshman year was the first time I played organized, which means with a real team, with rules and referees, and I wasn't good. My very first game, I was really tall. I didn't have glasses or contacts at the time, so I couldn't see very well. And my very first game was embarrassing. I didn't catch any pass that came my way. My feet were really big. I would stumble over my feet a lot of the time. And after the first game, my coach, my freshman year coach, came to me in front of all my teammates and said, y'all saw he didn't have a good game yesterday, but just keep believing in him. He's going to get better. Now you fast forward to my senior year in high school. Senior year in high school, that's 4 years. And I didn't have anybody recruiting me. I finally grew into my body. I finally got coordinated. And we were playing one of our rival high schools. And most of the time I'd play in the background. I'd let the other players take control. But something was different about this night. My confidence had been building. I was working out a lot. I was working on my legs and getting stronger. And in this game, one of my teammates shot a shot and it bounced off the rim, and I went up to jump for the rebound, and it was like it was slow motion. I was going up in slow motion like on a cloud. And I noticed, I said, hey, I'm up kind of high. And I grabbed the ball with two hands, and I dunked it in the game for the first time, and I let out the loudest yell, ah! And the whole crowd went wild. All of my high school classmates were there, and I was like, yeah! Because not that it was the dunk, but it was 4 years of hard work and working out, and I was so pumped, there was no way you can turn off my confidence switch at that time. So it happened again. We're on a fast break. I'm running. I got so much adrenaline pumping. I run out in front of everybody. I get a full court pass. I catch it. I go to jump, and there I go again, like on a cloud. And the defending player jumps right by me, and I'm still going up. Now, a year before, I couldn't jump this high. But he goes by me, and I dunk it on him, and everybody goes crazy. And you talk about another boost of adrenaline, another boost of confidence, but I wasn't done yet. One more time. Now everybody's ahead of me, but I've got too much adrenaline pumping. And I'm yelling for the ball. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. And they throw the ball backwards, and I take off again, and I jump from farther than I'd ever jumped before. And I actually jumped so hard I turned sideways. I was like, oh, I turned sideways. I thought I was going to fall. But I straightened it out, and I dunked for the third time in the basketball game. The whole crowd was so crazy, and our whole team was playing with so much confidence. We beat our rivals in that rivalry game. But in that moment, I knew I became a player good enough to play in college. And what I didn't know the entire time I was in high school was that there was a teacher that had been paying me attention that I had never taken a class from. And that teacher knew a recruiter in college. And he got on the phone with that recruiter in college. And that recruiter from college called me. And I had no idea that someone from college, from a major university, wanted me to play basketball for him. But what it took was 4 years of hard work. 4 years of silencing those negative voices. 4 years of people speaking life into me like, if you believe in him, keep watching him, he'll get better. It took that. And I got a full scholarship to play basketball at Division I college on clear across the country, going from California to Alabama. It was my dream come true. But here's the second part of that. When your cup's half full, that's not your full job. Your full job is once you start getting filled up with confidence, ready to start pouring in the studio? Ready to start pouring in the studio? It's now your turn to start speaking life into other people. Go ahead and keep pouring, let it flow. And it's at some point when you start speaking into other people, saying things like, you are not alone. You notice how that cup is overflowing? I don't know if the camera's on the cup or not, but right now in the studio, Jen's pouring and that cup is overflowing. And what's happening is for the water from the overflow of the cup is going into the basin. And that basin is other people. That basin is your teammates, your siblings, your family members, strangers, people you're working out with. You can say things to them like if you see they're going through a hard time, you can say to them, repeat it in the chat, you are not alone. If someone's going through something personal and they're really down, you can say to them, you're not alone. I'm here with you. You want to talk about it? How are you feeling right now? You can relate to them. Yeah, I've been through something like that. Or you know what? I've never been through that, but I want to help you. Can we go talk to somebody? Maybe you have a guidance counselor. Want to go talk to the guidance counselor at your school? Second thing, you can say to them, you can do it. Just like you, when you first started out and you had to tell yourself, you had to talk to yourself and fill yourself up with confidence, saying, I can, excuse me. You can say to them, you can do it. Because maybe you notice in them what you used to do or may not have done, but maybe you used to do it when you used to have that negative self-talk. You say to them, you can do it. And thirdly, you can say to them, I'll help you. That's a big one. That's a big one. When you see somebody's having a hard time in life emotionally or with sports, you can say, I'll help you. And I'll tell you one other thing you can do. You can always try to find a way to communicate with people on their level. Maybe you have a classmate or a teammate. Maybe they don't speak your language. Learn a simple phrase in their language. Like if they speak Chinese, you could say, ni hao. If they speak Spanish, hola, ¿cómo estás? It's a quick Google search. How do you say hello, how are you in XYZ language? There's always ways you can speak life and pour into other people. Now here's a promise I can make. Armenian, learn how to say it in Armenian. When you start pouring into other people, you'll never run empty. You'll always be full. Because when you make somebody else feel good, it's something special in everyone's heart that opens up and overflows and said, man, that made me feel so good. I helped that new kid who could barely kick a soccer ball, hit a baseball or softball, hit that tennis ball, make a layup, swim a lap. I helped them believe in themselves. And I promise you, it's going to feel so good when somebody you know or don't know, yet you fill them up with confidence, that you speak life into them. You pour into that cup until they overflow. And what's going to happen is they're going to return the favor to you, or they're going to turn the favor to somebody else. So I like to end by saying this saying, and maybe somebody can answer in the chat. Who knows, if you know what this word means, what the most valuable commodity on earth is? If you know what that is. Big hint, it's not money. If you know what it is, type it in the chat. I'll give you 10 seconds. 9.
Guesses are they putting in there over there?
8. Friendship. Okay. 6. Ooh, someone said it. I already saw it. It began with a T. Ah, there it is again. I saw it 3 times. I got a wise bunch. And that's the answer. The most valuable commodity on earth is your time. You have to spend it wisely. You have to invest it wisely. But the key is, once you give it away, you can never get it back. So I want to say thank you for taking the time, for allowing me to come speak life into you. I pray that I said some things that help you boost your confidence and teach you how to boost someone else's confidence. And I know there's going to be some more challenges and games and prizes. I want you all to stay excited and engaged and have a great time on this Toughest Team Challenge. Jen, thank you so much. Thank you for all the participants for giving me your ears for just a few minutes. I pray that it inspires somebody. Somebody's motivated. Somebody becomes the best athlete they could ever become, the best student they can ever become. And I pray that I played my part in inspiring you and speaking life into you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Rodney, thank you so much. Everybody say thank you to Rodney in the chat box. I see the Tigers are giving him a big round of applause and stuff. Yeah, absolutely.